Hey guys, X here. Welcome to the next episode of American Truck Simulator Career 2.0. Alright, so to recap last episode, we took off from Reading to San Francisco. So let's go ahead and hit the freight market from San Fran, see what we got. Well, we don't want to go to... God, that's a nice load, though. Shoot. I really don't want to, but I mean, look at this. This is almost $10,000. Jesus, that is some time. You know what? We're doing it. Screw it. We are doing it. And I think am I already at the... Oh, let me try putting in drive. So it is night now, and... Alright, we'll get going here. Alright. Sorry, there, I gotta look at... What am I hitting? Oh dear Jesus. Gee, what a good way to start this episode off. Alright, how about we actually pretend like we're driving the frickin' truck now? And maybe we can actually get somewhere and do something done. Don't you just love the reflection maps of like the DOT safety tape? Oh man, sweet. I think that's a night. Is that night there in front of me? I think it is. Anywho, yeah, so I figure, you know, since we know we're in the year 2016 or whatnot, we'll kind of discuss some real world news that's gonna affect the American trucking culture. Whatnot, but we'll get more into that after we pick up our load and actually get on the road. This is gonna be a fairly long trip right here. The dollars per mile isn't as much, but I mean, dude, like this one run itself is gonna pay off one of the loans. Now, speaking of, you might actually be able to, do it now. We're at 17,000. I think we can safely pay off another loan. I don't seem to be getting too crazy with the, what's it called, with the accidents and whatnot. Come on, Knight. So that's a cool thing too, being able to say real company names in here. So there we have Knight Transportation. Yeah, now Model is all after the real companies. You call that phone number on the back of that trailer, you're gonna get a hold of Knight. You know, hey, you want a job? Call them. But you know, and it'd be interesting. And I'm curious about that. If like any of these. The truck driving companies will actually like pick this game up like as a training type of thing. Because I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty spot on. Even basic things, just like, you know, doing backing maneuvers and stuff like that. I figured now what's bothering me. Alright. Oop. Gotta adjust my brake sensitivity a little bit. But yeah, no, so like all of the trailers on there, I mean, it's all real life, you know, naming schemes, you know, the logos are and all that stuff. And like I was saying, it'd be interesting for like trucking companies and these schools to actually pick up this game and use it as a training, you know, thing before saying, hey, before we get you guys in the real truck, let's, you know, get you beyond the simulated one and see how you do. You know, I could definitely see there being a lot of benefit in it. Oh man, come on, come on. And whatnot, yeah, so that might be something for us to think of, you know. I No, it's called, Truck Driving Simulator. The corporate edition. Where you don't focus so much on the economy, but you can set things up like a run from point A to point B. Maybe you want to back up a certain way or whatnot. So it could be possible. Slow down. Well, maybe I don't want to slow down. Stupid sign. Yeah, why not? Alright, got some truck traffic going on here, don't we? Tell you what, I'm just happy to be recording again. There it is again. I know you guys say you're going to be hearing it a lot, but so happy. I'm wearing my Stevens Transport shirt. I was going to wear my senior driver shirt, but I had to go and find it somewhere in the closet. And, it's a lot of clothes in there, so I was like, I'll figure it out later. But yeah. So I don't have my senior driver shirt. I'll wear it one of these times. But I do got my Kenny hat, Mr. Canworth up here. So a buddy of mine from here in Denver, he manages the Canworth dealership and showroom. So he hooked me up with some free merch and whatnot. Alright, so it looks like our pickup point's going to be up here to the right. Looks like it's going to be a Plasters and Sons who like to plaster. And we shall take their freight back to our hometown headquarters in Elko, Nevada. So I'm sitting there on the SCS blog. See if you guys haven't seen Arizona. We'll be here soon. Super excited for that. I think we're in the right spot. Let's see what we got here. So San Francisco to Elko for a whopping $9,760. Sure. Lots of fun. We need that money's. It'll be another loan paid off. Alright. So there she be. There be the bad boy. So we'll go ahead and hook up to them. So I really want to get to the point where we can start hiring company drivers. We could just focus on, on driving and making money. Flooring it in reverse. Burning that coal. There we go. We got her. We're on our way back to Elko. So hopefully we burn out of California so we can get some speed done and get on our way here. Alright. Let's get on the road here and we start talking about some trucking changes. We'll focus on some California stuff since we're in California and whatnot. Alright, come on. Okay, well if you're gonna sit there, then I shall move a doo-doo. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and let's kind of burn out of town here. It's like in real life, I really don't like driving these things inside major metropolitan areas. It's always good to, get out there on the open road. Alrighty, bridge is coming up here ahead of us, and we'll start our friendly conversation there when we're on that big ass bridge up there in front of us. Tell you what, this stuff ain't nowhere near as good as soda. I miss my soda. Slow down. Okay. You're right once. Jeez. Science can be so demanding. Anywho. Yeah. Alright. contact now, but I know I'm going to lose my concentration once I do this ridiculous little curve that's right above us. Go right now, and there we go, yep. Alrighty then. Alright, so let's start talking about some trucker news. Your news from your friendly ex, from my mouth to your ears. And let's focus around the effed up state of California. I know you guys are already loving this state because they make you drive 55 miles an hour. There are very few places outside of California in our union here that makes you do that. So I know you guys are absolutely ecstatic. Look at that, TA and Petro up there. Yay, TA Petro. Anyways, so yeah. Well, something about regulations. So this first started a while back ago, and it was always my biggest gripe. Right, so if you guys don't know, here in America, the American trucking industry is actually hurting really bad. Every company is desperate, and I mean desperate, for drivers. So they're doing anything they can, any kind of recruitment, to try to get what few are out there. Like, I kid you not, when you graduate your truck driving school, you're like a free agent in baseball, man. Like, everybody's coming at you. You're going to be getting offers in the mail. Like, oh, you got your CDL, drive for us. It's getting to the point to where, like, these small companies, are even trying to do it because, they may have 5 trucks, but only 2 of them are running. And, they're still paying them other 3. So it used to be like they want like 15 years of experience. Some of them are like, well, shit, just give us a year of experience and we'll take you on. Other ones like, you know what, screw it. Give us a week of experience and we'll take you. So the industry is already hurting, right? There's plenty of freight. There's job security, don't get me wrong, right? But then you get people like California that come along with their little... oh my God, we're so much better than the rest of the world attitude and whatnot. Oop, let me turn headlights off, there we go. With this, we're better than the rest of you guys attitude. And what ends up happening is they start creating laws. So one of these laws that they created a few years ago was stuff called DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. And what this is essentially, and I'm not even kidding when I say this, it's synthetic urine. Alright, so yeah, that stuff you pee out, the main ingredient is called urea. It's synthetic urea, right? And they figured, and I don't know how some guy figured out that if you spray it into the exhaust, it helps offset and get rid of some of the carbon emissions or something like that. Makes it more eco-friendly. So I don't know if maybe, like he was drinking beer on top of his truck and like, you want to see something funny? I'm gonna piss into my freaking exhaust stack, and he does it, and then he's like, well, gee, that's weird. I got the sensation that I just saved the environment a little bit. Hence, diesel exhaust fluid is born. So so they came up with this thing saying, that now, since we're California and we're all about richity people and regulating freaking everything, we're going to impose a law that says all commercial trucks that operate in or through California has to have this diesel exhaust fluid set up on their truck. Right, so now you have these guys in like these old 1980s, Kennys and Pete's and whatnot, and the old freight shakers, and then they're sitting there like, well, you know what? I mean, diesel prices are skyrocketing. Everything related to the trucking world is expensive because, yeah, it used to be true back in the day. Truckers made a lot of money, but guess what? Ever since all the ridiculous price gouging that everybody does in America, You know, I mean, it takes more and more dollars out of here. You guys think the fines in this game are unrealistic? That's what it's like. They know we make money, so they're going to do everything they can to get into your pocket and take it. Yeah, welcome to price gouging, guys. Welcome to America. So yeah, so it gets to the point where they don't have all this money or anything like that. You know, diesel fluid skyrockets. You know, I mean, and I kid you not, diesel is the byproduct of what you get when you make gasoline. So when they refine the oil, their goal is we're gonna make gasoline. But then they had all this stuff that was left over, and they're like, well, shoot, we can light this on fire. Hence, diesel is made. That's how they make diesel. So diesel is what's left over from the initial product of gasoline. So now you're sitting here and, you know, ideally, if you think it's a byproduct, you just want to get rid of it and anything will be good, because you're already making your money, you know, for the whole refining process from the gasoline. So you think, oh, whatever little bit we get for the diesel we sell would, you know, just help increase it. But no, they jack up the price of diesel to where it's more than gasoline. You know, and then where does that leave us? You know, I mean, so now you're sitting here with diesel, you know, more expensive than gas. Diesel is the byproduct. Come on, dude. 40, yeah. We'll slow it down. I want the frickin' popo. Look at that. 35. Construction zone. 35. Alright, let's get in that right lane if you'll let us over. Nope, he's not gonna let us over. Frickin' cop. Come on. Son of a bitch. Damn, popo. But anyways, yeah, so diesel skyrockets, so that's the main expenditure for these owner-operators. So now you have states like California saying, well, I'll tell you what, if you want to bring freight into our state, you're going to have this system installed on your trucks. Now, these guys can't go out and afford new trucks. They're rebuilding their engines and their trannies as they go, you know. They got loyalty to their rigs. So when they're coming here now, you know, you have companies charging, you know, shit, I think some of them were like $25,000 to install this frickin' diesel exhaust fluid system on your old truck. They can't afford it. They're like, yeah, we don't, I mean, you know, they have special insurance that covers the engine rebuilds and the transmission rebuilds, but they don't got $25,000 just, you know, laying around in a bank account that they could, you know, go and, you know, invest in this diesel exhaust fluid system. So they can't do it. So then, and their attitude is like, well, if you're going to regulate that shit, then guess what? I just won't deliver freight into California. So now you have all these, you know, single owner operators that run the boards, and you got your, you know, your small companies, you know, 3, 5, 10, even 20 trucks or whatnot, that are no longer able to meet the specifications for California. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just start delivering everywhere else. And then all of a sudden, California starts complaining, saying, oh, hey, you know, guys, we don't have enough freight coming in here or whatnot. We have our ports are all backed up. We can't get stuff out. And we can't figure out why. It must be because there's not enough truck drivers out there. No, you idiots. It's because you regulated your shit so heavily that regular truck drivers who want to go in there and get that freight and all that stuff can't do it anymore, because you're a pompous asshole that decided that you wanted to go and, you know, create all these unnecessary freaking laws and just make it harder for truckers. Because remember, without trucks, America stops. And that's the truth. I mean, get that shit out there on the train if that's the best you can do. Anyways, yeah, so strike one for California. They get 10 points for being idiots. Yeah, so then what that does is that you have all these bigger companies like who I used to pull for, Steven and Swift, and they're like, oh, our trucks are never more than 4 years old anyway, so they already come from the factory with diesel exhaust fluid. We're good, right? Well, now in 2016, California now mandated that all trailers attached to the trucks in California have to have the aero skirts on the bottom of it, the aerodynamic ones. Right? And now this puzzles me at first, and I did some research into this because I'm like, okay, well, diesel exhaust fluid, Roger, I'm going to give you the benefit of being a dick and understand the whole emission save the planet and all that stuff. But putting those aerodynamic skirts like on the bottom of the $3,000 reefers in game, that doesn't do anything for the environment. So why the hell would you mandate that those trucks have to be more, or have to be more aerodynamic? Right. So I did some research, and what their theory behind it is by making the truck more aerodynamic and forcing it to be aerodynamic, then let's increase our speed. We're out of frickin' California now. So by making our trucks more aerodynamic, it uses less fuel. Less fuel means less emissions. Less emissions means happier 1% rich elite in California and some of the rest of the people in Compton don't care about. So I'm like, okay, well, the douche meter went up again because California is being ridiculous. You know, and so now even this started affecting some of the bigger companies because they're like, well, we got these older trailers that don't have the aero skirts on, but a lot of our newer ones do. Like me, I work for Stevens, and you know, a lot of our trailers have the wind skirts on the bottom. So they're like, okay, we'll just sell off our old trailers and get our new ones. But then here's mom and pop, you know, trucking company. And they're like, well, shit. You know, we may have 20 trailers and it's $5,000 a piece to install those damn wind skirts on there. Granted, the wind skirts cost us about, you know, or will cost maybe all of $100 to make. We're going to sell it for $500 to $1,000. Why not? Alright. Let's pull up on the way station here, get scaled up. So one of the things that I'm suggesting is you see here you got the red light above your what's it called, your GPS there. We also have the green one. That green one never comes on. So what I told him is, you know, because as you pull up to the oops, wrong button. As you pull up to the way station, you know, everybody's sitting there staring at their thing. You know, am I getting pulled in? Am I getting pulled in? So I told me, you know what, if you're not going to get pulled in, how about you flash the green light before you would flash the red one, you know, or something like that. So you can like, oh, green light, good to go, whatnot. So yeah, so I'm going to push that forward, or I already did, but we'll see what comes from it. Yeah, pay that money. Oh, and anyway, so like I was saying, so you have these little mom and pop companies that are sitting there and they're like, oh, now we can't afford to do it. So guess what? Even less freight coming into California. Now, granted, now we could say it's like, oh well, hey, you know, California's in a drought. How about we go deliver a bunch of bottled water to you? Oh wait, we can because the trucks that would have done that don't have diesel exhaust fluid and they don't have the aero skirts on their trailers. Sorry, California. I guess you guys are gonna have to sit there and, you know, pay extraordinarily high prices for your water and whatnot, even though you're right next to an ocean. Go figure that one out. You know, so yeah, so that's California. So then I was also reading, you know, federally, it means all across America, now they're requiring all drivers to be running ELDs. So what ELDs are, they're called electronic logging devices. And there's a whole hours of regulation thing we have to follow. You could watch YouTube videos on it or whatnot. Now we're at 65. Let's adjust ourselves accordingly. But yeah, you know, so, but we used to keep logbooks. And it's no secret. Truckers used to keep 2 logbooks, you know, to be able to make sure that they could run, you know, illegally. And if you ever got pulled over, it looks like you're running legally. Oh, damn it, hit my brake pedal. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Nope, it wasn't. Why the hell were they all brake checking? Bastards. Anyway, so, you know, they're sitting there and, oh, here it is. I'll tell you what, we actually got to get in this left lane here. Well, so yeah, so ELDs, electronic login devices. So, you know, truckers used to run 2 books. It just allows us to, well, to run more hours, you know, because sometimes we got to get the loads there. So now they're sitting there like, oh, we'll stop that, we're going to do this, and that's going to, like, save 27 lives a year and prevent 512 injuries or some shit like that. You know, and all it's doing is just, you know, it's discouraging drivers from driving. And then they said they want to make that information publicly available, so that way shippers and receivers can see how many hours that the you know, that driver has. And the whole time I'm reading this, I'm thinking, well, this is kind of counterproductive, because what's going to happen is, instead of making it safer for drivers, right, or for everybody out there, what's going to happen is that driver may only drive 6 hours and be tired, but if the shipper or receiver sees that he could drive longer, they're going to keep egging them on to go longer and faster and whatnot. You know, so in the end, it's going to force them to drive more when they can't, when they don't want to, or it's not safe to. Did I literally miss my frickin' turn? Did I go the wrong way? Son of a bitch, I did, didn't I? No idea what the hell I was thinking. Well, you know what? We're in a, I'm gonna flip it over on the medium before any of them damn guardrails come down. Yeah, cop, I did a U-turn. What are you gonna do about it? Absolutely nothing. So you got me talking, you know, on the rant here about ELDs, and wasn't paying attention to where I was going. Yeah, so ELDs bullshit. And then I ran into that same thing too with my company drivers there, or my driver managers at Stevens, sitting there like, I'll be like, you know, going down I-80 by, you know, before I approach the sisters, and I'll be like, damn, you know, I'm just freaking beat, and I'll pull over in a rest area, stop, you know, so okay, well, I'm gonna rack out for about 3 hours before I continue on. So I sit there, you know, I you know, park the truck, turn it off and whatnot. Not even 15 minutes later, my cell phone's ringing. It's my driver manager saying, hey man, what do you stop for? You know, I'm seeing here you still got another 4 hours you could run or something like that. Why do you stop for? You know, I'll be telling them, like, damn dude, you know, I'm freaking tired, man. Like, I gotta get some rest. And they'll be like, oh, well, you know, we really gotta get the freight to where it needs to go. The customer's really depending upon this. You know, you're just gonna be close if you don't, whatnot. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, gee, how about what? Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna drive this, but when I wreck into somebody because I'm tired ass, you know, and are you gonna be the one to come in here and fucking, oh, there's my language, are you gonna be the one to come out here and, you know, talk to their family and explain to them like, oh, well, he was gonna sleep, but since, you know, that load of toilet paper had to get to Walmart, I had to have him drive, you know, because people out there need to wipe their butts. You know, so it's a whole BS situation. But yeah, so, and it's true when they say that's going to happen, because it does happen with all these companies that go out there, you know, instead of standing behind their drivers and being like, well, listen, we know it's hard out there on the road. We know you get hypnotized by the road lines and whatnot. So how about, you know, we find someone else that you could swap your load with and call it good. You know, so, I mean, but it's not like that, you know. These companies are desperate to, you know, complete these contracts, which I don't understand why. What are they going to do? Go to another trucking company? Dude, everybody's short. They won't be able to take on new contracts, so it is what it is. Welcome to American trucking. Alright, pulling on through Reno now, I want to say. Are we in Reno? I didn't see where we were. See where we were. What's a bigger city? Sorry for the little lag in here, but we'll drive right on through and on the 80. keep it going. We're not that far away from Elko up there, and stopping in the at our hometown. Yeah, so California with their diesel exhaust fluid and you know their frickin' their aero skirts and because they're more aerodynamic and whatnot, and all the other bullshit that they're coming out with regulating the trucking industry, and they wonder why it is what it is. But you know what? That's fine because I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on making this one as good as I can. And here's the one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to discourage anyone out there in America from becoming a truck driver. It is fun. I had a blast doing it. I wish I could do it more. You know, I mean, if my knee ever gets better and I can manipulate that clutch again, you can be damn sure I want to jump back into that driver's seat. Because, I mean, where else can you say you get paid to go out and drive and see the world, you know? This view is my office, you know? Now I'm sitting there and I look out a window at the same old, mundane thing every day. But I mean, this view is my office. My office changes from day to day, what state I'm in, you know. I mean, who else is going to pay you to go down to Florida, you know, and then pay you to go to Los Angeles? You know, I mean, granted, when you're a company driver, you got to take the loads that they tell you. But when you become your own lease operator or owner operator, I mean, you get to pick your loads and turn down and get more freedom. You know, you can say like, you know what, I'm gonna take this load from Los Angeles down to to down to Miami. When I get to Miami, you know, hey, I'm not in a rush. I'll park at a truck stop, rent a car, go out and hit the beach for a couple of days. Maybe I'll go hit Walt Disney World. You know, I mean, heck, you can do what you want. You're your boss out there on the road. You know, so I mean, it's interesting. You know, and I loved it. It really is. It's a great experience, and the money is still there. I'm not saying you're going to get rich quickly. You're going to be doing pretty good, especially like if you don't have a college degree or none. You got a good driving record, man. You're set. You know, a lot of these companies, man, you drive for them for a year, they will pay for your CDL. You know, I mean, they'll jump right up there and hire you in a heartbeat. You know, that's what Stevens did for me, man. Submitted an application, they hired me in a heartbeat, and they said they wanted me to get in that driving school that same day, and I told them like, well, you know, I understand you want to do that, but I gotta give my my current employer here 2 weeks notice, and I can't just do them dry like that. So yeah, so they did that, went in there, dropped my class, and I had a blast, man. Alright, I think we're coming through Winnemucca now. Oop, cop. Oh, wrong pedal, damn it. So we got the cop in front of us, you know, and I'm blasting at 70-ish in the 65. There we go, 80. Should be coming on up to Elko here soon. But yeah, that's truck driving for you, man. It's absolutely great, and I love it. So, you know, all these regulations and stuff and whatnot, don't be discouraged about it. Think of it as more as challenges if you become, rich enough to where you can actually start buying your own trucks and whatnot. Company drivers and whatnot, a lot of lease drivers, I mean, you're going to be getting good equipment, you know, reliable stuff, and they're going to take care of you, you know, because they want to keep, you know, that revenue coming in, you know, and you're going to get paid like shit at first, which will still be better than what you're probably making out here without a college degree. You know, but I'll tell you what, man, you're gonna start coming into some money. You know, it's all what you know you get out of it. So I definitely encourage it. If you're out there and you don't know what you want to do, I mean, give it a shot. You know, go out there, do it for a year. A lot of companies want you to do it for a year. You know, to fulfill that contract for your driving school, and then go on home and call it good. You know, if it ain't your particular cup of tea. But I love it. It does get kind of lonely out there, but you know, I mean, that's the good thing about the chatterbox, you know. Less and less drivers are using it nowadays, but I mean, that was our big thing. You know, you get there and you start just yakking away on the CB with whoever's there in front of you. I mean, hell, 3 hours goes by before you know, you start talking about politics. you know, you're gonna have your dicks out there like anybody else, you know. So I mean, you just go on out there and do what you know to do, and you know, you keep your you know, your conversations going, or just turn it on and listen in. You know, chime in whenever you have something to contribute. You know, and it's fun. You know, and you'll learn to hate four wheelers and goddamn cars. But it is what it is. And I'm yawning again. It's fine. Yep. So I don't know if you guys are looking like the billboards or whatnot, but I changed a lot of these. Like here we have public storage compared to whatever the hell the other one was. You know, so real companies you'll see. Maybe there's a SystemSoldier X billboards out there. Maybe. I don't know. But regardless, we are coming into Elko, Nevada, our home away from home. That's close to home. We're running at 36 minutes now. Probably another 5 minutes to back it in and conclude. And we'll call this episode good. And we'll go ahead and rock on the next one. Come on. So they did improve the physics on the rollback for the these Rams, because a lot of people were complaining that, you know, their trucks were dying whenever they're making the turns here on the, or coming from the stop and coming up. You know, which happens in real life if you don't know how to manipulate your clutch just right. You know, so son of a bitch, I made the wrong frickin' turn again. I really need to pay attention to my thing. I'm so used to going to the Walmart over here. You know, I just haven't. Go on, man. I saw you. Got a nice W900 coming down here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Come on down, come on down. Be warned, spontaneous episodes of music, of song and dance may occur. Alright, yep, so we're coming up here to our final destination, and of course the damn cop's going there too. Bastard. We got plenty of time. Just burning on through. Alright. Looks like it's gonna be up here on the right. Green light. Ain't trying to spend any more money than I need to, because once this load is done, that's another one of our loans paid off. Imagine we'll probably get the email soon saying, hey, take $500,000 or something like that. Yeah, no. See, I always do the loan so I can get in my own truck in the beginning, but after that, I'll tell you what. Oh, come on, stop bullshit. I was slowing down. But yeah, no, I'll work towards buying the next truck and whatnot, so we'll go ahead and do that. So as soon as this one's paid off, we're going to start working towards the next one. And that's why I want to keep getting the long distance done, get that $1 per mile put up so we can start making some serious cash. You know what I mean? We get our garage updated and whatnot and call it good. Oh man, there's an F-22 in the never. Alright, so we're coming to the rail depot. So I'm gonna wait for. So you can't make up his mind if he's gonna stop or go. Alright, you gonna stop? Fine. I don't flip at that trailer, it should be good. Alright. So it looks like we got a medium back right here next to us. Not a big deal at all. We'll go ahead and get her done. So we're just going to do this by utilizing all this space up here next to these pallets. Keep in mind our turn radius is a lot longer because we are in this freaking tank. This tank of a truck. We got a shorter trailer, so it should be a little bit easier, you can imagine. Alright. Let's get up in here in our space. So I'm just kind of guessing right now. What it is I want the trailer to kind of kick itself over there. So that way when I come under it, I'm kind of at a 45 degree to my target. So there we go. See right there, 45 degrees to my target. Then I'm just going to go ahead and bring her in and try to get that those tires to rotate on that green line closest to me. Alright, let's get under this bad boy. Straighten up here. Hi, you know what I'm going to do? Just to make things crazier, I'm just going to pull straight forward into this gap right in here. Sometimes you got to do this in real life. So what this is doing is I'm just straightening my trailer out. And then what this is going to do is this is going to line me up for a straight line back. I just can't move it over. Don't want to drag the mirror. I mean, once it opens up, I'm not going to do my correction. Just like that. So remember, folks, use all that space available to you. You know, I mean, nothing says I have to, you know, I couldn't go in between that trailer and that dirt. I mean, shit, I would do what we gotta. And just like that, we shall call this one good. Alright, there we go. Moving on up in the world. Level 4. You know, I'm still in 51015. I mean, that's longer than 650 miles. Look at that. I mean, we got to get our long distance up. All right. So, new upgrades available. We'll get into that next episode. So for now, thanks for watching. As I stretch here and make you guys watch. There we go. Alright, thanks for watching as always. And you know, leave your guys' bitches, moans, gripes, complaints, moans and groans, all that stuff down below. Comments, suggestions, positive feedback, whatever you guys want to say. Hell, you guys can talk about Donald Trump down there for all I care. You know, but yeah, just leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. And as always, keep the pedal to the metal and keep that rubber on the road. And I'll see you guys next time. X out. Hey guys, X here. As always, thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment below. And if you like what you see, tap that subscribe button. Also check out the channel for other videos and game series. Alright, till next time.